corner, Brian Timmons. Good evening, Wilmington, Delaware. It's time to start the action. Let's welcome the fighters for the opening bout to the ring. Introducing first from San Cristobal in the Dominican Republic, please welcome Dagoberto Aguero.
Hey, Fat Joe, this is the Spanish version. Sigo subiendo y no voy a parar. No voy a parar. No voy a parar. No voy a parar. Sigo subiendo y no voy a parar. Si subo, si corto de tu huella,
So as we get set for Brian Timmons taking on Joey Tibery, as we see the 35-year-old Timmons making that long walk into the ring. Lopsided record, but again, that can be misleading as well.
5-8 is the record for Timmons. But he's a tough kid from St. Joseph, Missouri. There's a lot of fighters who come out of that area. Usually tough guys who are durable and go some rounds.
Suffered 5 knockouts in his career. Coincidentally, he's 5-8. Does have a little bit of knockout power for 13 professional fights as well. But I think really the return, the story in this fight is going to be the return of the 30-year-old Newark native in Joey Tibery. And I thought you said it brilliantly during the opening. When you think about
And
Delaware
now,
boxing,
ladies and gentlemen,
you
let's
think of the
welcome his
Tiberys and
opponent,
that long
hailing
lineage
from
of fighters.
Tashkent,
You know, Joey Tibery, I think, is
Uzbekistan,
certainly in a
Olimjan
crossroads in his career, Mark, because when you look at it, he's only had 15 professional fights. He's already 30 years of age. As we take a look at the aforementioned Joey Tibery, if he wants to go full-time with boxing, it's got to start tonight with the win and try to get more activity.
Absolutely. And he's 13-2. He is, he's only had, like I said, 2 losses in the 15 fights. And you hear the reception he gets. The name Tibery may be only second to the name Biden in the state. So Joey making his way in the ring for the first time since November 21st, 2014, which ironically was right in this very room at the Chase Center.
It was. And again, you look at his career, and it's interesting. He's had 2 losses, one to Tyrell Samuel several years ago, and then suffered a TK loss at the time to a debuting Corey White, who only fought 4 times in his career.
And that was
after that.
That was a fight that Tibery, for whatever reason, just didn't have it that night. But he's had some decent wins since then, and he's back tonight. Like I said, he wants to make one more run to see what he can do in this game.
All right, we'll see what the graduate from St. Mark's can do. Coming off a 2+ year layoff, did incorporate a lot more running, swimming into his regimen. So we'll see how it pans out this evening as he gets set to take on the 35-year-old Brian Timmons. This one slated for 4 rounds, lightweight action. Good crowd this evening as well. Excellent crowd.
Not a good crowd, but a packed house here at the Chase Center.
Very, very good crowd this evening. All right, as we get set for the official introductions, we'll go inside the ring to Mark Fratto.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chase Center on the riverfront here in Wilmington, Delaware. This is skill versus will all across the globe on pay-per-view. The following bout is scheduled for 4 rounds in the lightweight division. It's brought to you by David Feldman Promotions and presented by the casino at Delaware Park. The judges for the bout are Brian Costello, Mark Titilio, and Dorothea Perry. And controlling the action at the sound of the bell, your 3rd man in the ring will be Vic Diwaisaki. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, He weighed in at 138.2 pounds. He owns a professional record of 5-8, all 5 of those victories coming by way of knockout. Wearing black, trimmed with red, a native of St. Joseph, Missouri. Please welcome Brian Timmons. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 136 pounds even. He comes to the contest with a professional record of 13-2. 6 victories coming by way of knockout. Wearing the Italian flag, green, white, and red, from Bear, Delaware, Jolton, Joey Tibery Jr.
Expect a good, clean bout. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, come out the belt.
All right, so we are moments away from the much anticipated return of Joey Tibery. As we go to the tail of the tape, we go to Mark Abrams.
See, Timmons has the 1-inch height advantage. Weight, Timmons a couple pounds longer, and the 5 years older. Tibery, though, has been off for 3 years.
All right, so it'll be the 30-year-old. And again, let's take a look at the rules this evening, Mark.
Scoring on the 10-point must system, the 3 knockdown wave for just in the title fight, no standing 8 belt, and a fighter cannot be saved by the belt in any round, Rich.
All right, so it'll be Tibery taking on Timmons, slated for 4 rounds, lightweights, and again, the much anticipated return of one Joey Tibery in his familiar red, white, and green Italian trunks. 35-year-old Timmons in the black trunks and the red trim.
Timmons actually coming off a win as well. November 5th, stopped Tanner Talbot in St. Joseph, Missouri. That was a 3-round stoppage. He's been stopped 5 times. So this could be the perfect guy to come back for Tibery, for him to kind of, get his confidence back.
Absolutely. I mean, really knock off the ring rust, when you think about it. 2-year layoff. I mean, it's really tough. You have to decide whether you want to be full-time going forward. And a lot of times if there's inactivity, if there's issues with management, but be that his way, when you have that background, the Tibery name, it certainly helps to get a lot of fights in Delaware. And I think eventually, as you alluded to, the 30-year-old will make a decision if he wants to be a full-time fighter going forward.
Yeah, I mean, he's been, obviously he's been working, works at UPS, and also a concrete business. See if he has concrete power in his right and left hands tonight.
He's
in shape, as he said. He was doing a lot more running, a lot more swimming, added that into his routine.
This next bout, ladies and
Really
gentlemen,
doesn't know
is
much
scheduled
about
for
Timmons.
6
It's
rounds of the
only-
super
I
bantamweight
asked him
division.
Timmons looks the depth of saying that. All he knows about
Promotions,
Timmons, he's got 2 arms, 2 legs, a
King's
heart, and a chin.
Promotions and Nelson's Promotions.
Also
And
mentioned, too,
presented by
tonight,
the casino
Cyril
at
Papati will
Delaware
be our
Park.
unofficial
Our
scorer,
bouts
so we'll
this
routinely
evening
check
are
in with him
sanctioned
throughout tonight's
by the Delaware
telecast.
Department of Licensing with the Virginia
Tibery trying to go
Athletic
downstairs.
Advisory Board. The executive director is David L. Holland. The program administrator is Tracy
Catching his way
Fagan.
in round number 1. Now Tibery catches Timmons up top with a left.
And the timer is Dave Holland.
Good
The
right hand from
judges in
Timmons.
this
Big
bout are
counter.
Brian Costello, Mark Titilio, and Dorothea Perry, and controlling the action at the sound of the bell.
Another straight right counter by Tibery.
Iwasaki.
Tibery doubled over a little
And now,
bit.
ladies and
Got
gentlemen,
hit maybe in the
let's
body.
meet the fighters.
And you wonder, too, if
Introducing
he
first,
put
boxing out of the red
a little
corner,
too much
he
pressure
weighed
on
in at
himself because, again, the long layoff,
118.6
the familiarity
pounds.
of fighting in
His
Delaware.
impressive,
Obviously, he's got that
undefeated
fan base,
professional record,
local product,
10-0,
wants to make a good showing.
with
Sometimes you
8
can tighten up a
victories
little bit,
coming by way
see if
of
he just
knockout,
gets through round number
following
1.
Championship decorated
Pound
amateur
those nerves
career
down a
with
little bit.
more than 300 amateur victories.
is pretty
Wearing the
flat-footed
red,
in
white,
there
and blue
and
of
pushing
the
his
Dominican
punches.
Republic, representing San Cristobal DR and King's
I believe he's under
Promotions.
managed by
Please welcome
John Carden, who handles
Dago
Galen Brown, which is
Panto.
interesting because Galen Brown has about 81 pro fights. Talk about a fighter that wants to fight almost every other week.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys in that St. Joseph, Missouri circuit.
He weighed in at 119.4 pounds. He owns
So
a
again,
professional record of 14
first round in the
full
books.
victories coming
Tibery
by
getting some
way
early
of
work in
knockout.
against
Dressed
Brian
in black
Timmons,
this
slated
evening,
for 4
hailing
rounds,
from
lightweight affair. The
Tashkent, Uzbekistan.
much anticipated return
Please welcome
of the Newark, Delaware product.
Good first round, like you said. You could get hit, get that feeling of getting hit again. I'm sure Tibery, it's kind of like a bittersweet thing. You want to feel it and see if you can still take it.
Absolutely. But it's always tough, too. And we'll see this later tonight. I mean, especially when you talk about our main event with the 48-year-old Roy Jones Jr., it's not about ring rust, but it's about when is it time to hang him up potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the fair question that a lot of people have been asking, and maybe Bobby Gunn answers that question. Ali John Nazarah and the 23-year-old Aguero in the blue trunks mark. Right, go figure. The irony with that. 10-0 mark out of the Dominican Republic, winning 10 out of his last 11. All right, one of the books we get set for round number 2. Tibery and Timmons.
First round knockouts, 23-year-old. He looks
certainly
like
a feeling out round for Joey
Tibery.
Tibery.
He signed with King's Promotions, Marshall Kaufman, and they signed him. Tibery looking the jab out. They've heard a lot of good things about him.
Not a lot of knockout power between the two. Tibery just 6 in his career, and I believe Timmons 5.
Ago in Atlantic City, 5 of his wins. Before bantamweight in the world, Stephon Young. So I guess
you
on a good go at it. The tough guy likes the pressure, likes the play.
And you can see the tall Aguero right off the bat trying to establish that jab early on in round number 2.
Swinging hard just in case they hit something. Hit a little bit.
And again, this slated for 4 rounds.
Yeah, I guess if Timmons is going to win, it's going to come by knockout.
Aguero on the blue trunks.
When I look at 10 of his 13 fights have ended, some of these fighters get built up records. A little swelling under the left eye of Joey Tibery. Some of the guys of Aguero's fought 1 in 21.
Trying to get that stick out there with that left jab.
11. The best guys fought 4 and 6.
His last 2 wins actually came against debuting boxers. So you're right, that's an excellent point you bring up.
And now
it really does have to be tough. You don't want to belabor the point, but the inactivity, getting back in the ring for first time, maybe perhaps feeding off the crowd, as you can hear chants of Tibery.
Well, he really hasn't had too many noticeable names on his leg, but with jab from Joey Tibery were impressive. I was ringside for the Stephon Young fight. Stephon Young is going to be in line to fight the new WBA champion, hopefully at some point at 118 pounds.
Good body shot, up top by Tibery, connects.
Good left hand, Timmons took it well.
For 6 rounds. Super bantamweights, Aguero again getting backed up a little bit. But you saw early on, went to that jab you mentioned, should really keep those hands up, especially when he goes from the jab to always line him back up. And he's, early on a little sloppy.
Yeah, well, he's been inactive so far in his first round.
Under a minute to go in round number 2. Tibery found a home.
And here he goes. He's kind of like a little car. It takes him a couple minutes to start chanting his name. But once he gets on the road,
sure, he feeds off of it. Absolutely.
Now, he told me he
had a good combination.
Speechless the support that he got.
Countered with a couple headshots of his own. And you routinely see that, especially with fighters that have predominantly fought in one venue, one state, their entire career. They typically get a little juice. They get a little more feisty and they start to feed off the crowd. Good straight right by Tibery. Backs up Timmons.
I traveled some active fights of fights down here.
Right hand.
Tibery was able to apply his trade between here and a couple places across the bridge in Pennsylvania. So,
and you mentioned Aguero too in the
garner a bit of a fan base.
10-0. He's got some knockout power. Just 23 years of age. You can see that lean frame, so you would venture to guess he'll fill out a little more.
Yes, 23.
All right, 2 in the books between Tibery and Timmons. But early on in round number 1, action heating up a little bit in round number 2. All right, let's throw it to our roving reporter this evening, to Joe McEwen III. What's going on, Joe?
Well, I'm here with Dave Tibery, and that's his nephew, Joey Tibery, and they're fighting. Dave, what's it feel like to be as a spectator instead of in the ring battling out tonight?
Well, it's a little tough. Having your nephew fight, it's easier if I'm in the ring because I know what I have to do. I think my nephew's a little hesitant tonight. I think this is the kind of guy you've got to put the pressure on and put out. I'm a style guy, and I think Joey now, I think by the 3rd round, I think you're going to see hopefully a different boy.
Going against the younger
Fantastic, guys. We're going to kick it back to you, Rich and Mark.
All right, Joe. Thank you very much. And of course,
you mentioned a pretty
face
solid record of
in
14
Dave
and 4 with 8
Tibery.
knockouts.
We mentioned in the onset,
And after winning 4 straight,
name,
he's
and
dropped
how
2 straight. He
many moons ago,
pull off an upset
the championship
this evening.
fight really turned
kind of a feeling
the
out
tide
process
in the,
certainly in round number
really
1.
how you look at boxing going forward.
And he retired after the
end of the
James
round.
Toney fight,
Yep.
so in many people's mind, he's the middleweight. He's still the middleweight champion of the world.
It's all semantics. Absolutely. All right, round number 3 slated for 4, Tibery.
He's got to make the adjustment.
Red, white, and green trunks. Timmons, black trunks, red stripes.
What you get. He wants to, there's not going to be too much pretty boxing from him. He's going to jab his way in, and once he gets in, he's going to. You see Mr. Timmons turning southpaw.
It's almost a risk to reward factor against a taller opponent. Confuse the 30-year-old Tibery. He's seen a lot of tricks in the ring, but again, just 15 pro fights. Good to see him back in the ring in front of his faithful here in Delaware.
Tibery trying to load up there with the left hook.
Guerrero in the blue trunks. Nazar on the black trunks. Early stages, round number 2. Again, slated for 6 super bantamweights.
Timmons just walked in the side. He went down he twisted his ankle a little bit. Want to lay down the law here.
Early on, good job by Vic taking control
Good left hook from Tibery. He's landing a little bit with that clean-up left hook.
I think you were right. He just needed to get that one round out of the way.
I like to call them veteran tactics.
Timmons now trying to apply the pressure. Tibery up against the ropes.
23-year-old. This is a big deal for Aguero because he's been fighting on small shows in the Dominican Republic. Obviously, there's some eyeballs on this with our main event with Ray Jones. And, it's a time for him to impress and now take it to the next level, going from unknown prospect to maybe more. He's almost asking you to get knocked out. He's kind of
going against an older opponent.
With left hands, he's doing it with no authority behind
not
it.
only does he,
if he tries it again here,
comes forward, but sometimes those wild punches. Tibery going downstairs, and again, as back upstairs, this is a good test for the catches Timmons.
Absolutely.
Under a minute to go, round number 3, slated for 4.
A nice right to the body. Real big step up for him. This is a real big step for him, in my opinion. You got to hand it to Marshall Kaufman and Nelson Lopez. They want to see what they got in this kid. Or maybe they think that they really have the goods in them and, kind of fast-track them a little bit.
I think, too, Dagoberto, if he can reestablish the jab as well, because he's got the length, he's got the reach, he's got the height as well. So, again, you start later round number 2 with that early jab, stages, then around a little bit, frustrate him. He goes up, jab, went downstairs a little bit. Body shot as well. Now trying to take over the fight. Again, his first return to the ring in almost 3 years.
The combined record.
Under a minute to go in this second round, slated for 6. As we are closing in on 3 in the books. Nazarov trying to get downstairs. Tibery and Timmons. You can see Aguero kind of baiting him a little bit. Just getting warmed up here at the Chase Center in downtown Wilmington, Delaware. Don't forget our main event slated for 12 rounds for the vacant WBF Cruiserweight Championship.
Barrows have been pretty good.
Roy Jones Jr., the legend at 48 years of age, perhaps trying to turn back the clock one more time against a bare-knuckle boxer in Bobby Gunn. I thought you brought up a really good point, too. Late in round number 1, we saw the extracurricular activities as we're closing in on 2 of the books slated for 6. The fact that Dagoberto, you saw him got a little feisty there, maybe a little frustrated, but sometimes that happens. And again, you alluded to the good matchmaking as we are 2 in the books, but still, I still kind of think some action from round or so feeling out process. You're kind of waiting for Dagoberto to kind of take over the fight.
And Timmons at the end of the round landed a couple nice little right hands there. So
I think you made a great point. You get a couple rounds under your belt, it's like riding a bike. You don't forget how to do it. You started to see a lot in Tibery assert himself into that round number 2. So as we take a look at some of the action in round number 2.
Here's the right hand.
4th and final round in this lightweight affair. Joey Tibery, the Newark, Delaware product, 30-year-old, making his way back inside the ring for the first time in 3 years. Brian Timmons.
Kind of flicking out with the jab, and he's going another right hand, and probably behind the shot at the end of the round.
So a little action from round number 2 as we get set for round number 3, again slated for 6. Come out of here with a win. Good! Right again by Black Trunks against a 23-year-old native of Dominican Republic, Dagoberto Aguero. Comes in 10-0 with 8 knockouts in the blue trunks.
See a little flicking left hook. Timmons trying to He's flicking a lot with the left.
Body shots by Tibery now, really trying to work over Timmons.
Really step into him. Joey doing all the work inside. Trying to counter there as Nazarov came in.
And Nazarov trying to get downstairs a little bit, trying to work the body.
Misses with a left hook, and Timmons misses as well. Same boxing a lot, geography and location, very important.
Good body shot by Joey Tibery.
If he's landing shots like that, there's no way Nazarov
Caught Timmons' attention. A little more focused in these early stages around number 3. Letting his hands go a lot more too with a good left and a straight right. Tibery got the call in late November for this fight from promoter David Feldman, and it could be a victorious return after a 3-year layoff. Good uppercut. Connecting body shots starting to add up against Timmons. In trouble right now. Midway through, round
Timmons is
number
hurt.
Tibery with a good left.
Timmons is in some serious trouble.
Just kind of throwing out that lazy jab.
His body is really taking the effects of those short little uppercuts inside.
You can see Dagoberto,
nothing
more than a knockout for his hometown family and fans and faithful
as well. This fight's over.
That's it. That's it. And with that, Joey Tibery
Time
with a triumphant
each fight
return
gets
to the ring.
he tightened that up. He left hook to the head and came back downstairs.
See that left after that jab, though, Mark. Just comes right back down. It's not like Ken Norton-ish, but it just dangles. It hangs.
It must feel like a big sigh of relief for Joey Tibery.
Good return to the ring against an opponent who you knew was going to come to fight in Brian Timmons, but that third and fourth round, as we take a look at the straight right, got home by Nazarov. Set to make it official momentarily. Best scoring punch of the night thus far. But more importantly, as you alluded to, Mark, he got rounds in for it. A little bit of rust here and there, but was able to really start to implement that jab, go to the body a little bit. 18 pro fights, 8 knockouts, but more importantly, caught the attention of the 23-year-old. For the Newark, Delaware, and St. Mark's graduate. And you just wonder going forward, again, 30 years old, fights have been slim to none over the last several years for him, but a good showing this evening. I think he did what was expected of him.
Absolutely. He had the right opponent there, and it's going to feel good. It's going to be a good night at the Tibery House, and he's going to hopefully start fighting more regularly and up his record. He's 14-2 now, and we'll see some of the
and we see with that good counter right as well throughout the contest. Timmons took a shot. He delivered as well. All right, so Tibery 3 in the books. We are midway through this 6th round affair. Right, there was a point also joining us this evening in the 3rd round, and then we saw T, our unofficial scorer this evening, as we get his thoughts up. 3 rounds in the books. What do you have, Zero?
Well, right now I have the fight tied.
We're
not seeing a lot of punches out there, and it's really a unique matchmaking style. I have to give credit to the matchmaker because we're seeing some contrasting styles, but still filling each other out. I really have a 1 round tied and then 1 round each boxer, so we'll see. These next 3 will really decide it.
And it's only slated for 6 rounds as we are 3 in the books. I mean, Mark, has anything stood out 3 rounds into you?
I think the official time, 2 minutes 4 seconds in round number 4. Your winner by TKO from Bear, Delaware.
Did notice one thing late in round number 3. You saw Nazarov was able, when he got up against the ropes, not only was able to work the body a little bit, but we saw some sloppy defense from Dagoberto, and Nazarov was able to catch him up top. And like we alluded to, that was one of his best scoring chances, his scoring blows of the bout thus far. Perhaps something to build upon. Around Joey Tibery, good return for him into the ring. Timmons falls to 5-9. All right, we'll throw it upstairs to Joe McEwen III. Joe?
I'm here with our winner, Joey Tibery. Joey, you lived up to your name tonight. Jolted Joey. Tell us a little bit about this tough fight you had from Mr. Timmons.
Again, this one's slated for 6 early stages, round number 4.
He was throwing punches. Yeah, I don't even know what to say right now.
Alami John Nazarov in the black trunks, 31-year-old, comes in with a 14-4 mark, 8 knockouts, has dropped 2 straight after winning 4 in a row.
We heard him, we just jumped on
Against a 23-year-old
Great job tonight.
Dagoberto Aguero
Congratulations,
from
Joey
Dominican
Tibery,
Republic.
everybody.
Looking to maintain his perfect record intact at 10-0, looking to push that to 11 wins.
Joe, thank you very much. Good job. So
as
Joey
Mark alluded to, though, as a good prospect, as a young
14-2.
prospect, really hasn't been tested. His last 2 wins against debuting fighters.
Brian Timmons,
taking on a little more of a grizzled vet. Will fall to 5-9. as we take a look at some of the action, kind of encapsulate the fight for Tibery, really working over Timmons to the body in this one.
Yeah, there's a big left hook to the head. That was one of the main punches that facilitated the knockout. You see, tell you what, he acknowledged that he got drilled in this one, and here comes his little body shots inside. A lot better than I thought he would. Timmons couldn't escape, and when he did, he had that look of resignment. He walked away, had his back turned to Tibery.
I want to go back to something you said in the beginning of the fight, opening stages round one. Good left again. We talked, you mentioned the hands down, the sloppy defense, and once again we saw it. And is it more of a fight that Tibery can build upon, taking the opponent to light inactivity, but nonetheless gets the win, improves to 14-2. I really just think it's an issue of deciding, I'm going to be a full-time fighter, let me get some more fights under our belt. So, as we get set, one of the books are next bout of the evening. This is an interesting one too, Mark, because you look at a fight on paper, and you look at a very good fighter, a southpaw in Frankie De Alba, a fighter that we're extremely familiar with. That straight right going. And he's going up against a very tough and grizzled Mexican defense turns into some very good offense. He's had close to 100 professional fights. Good uppercut. Right down the boulevard up top. Another scoring blow. Working over Nazarov. Late in round number 4.
Since the loss to Douglas, which was a hotly contested majority decision back in December 29, 2015. And like I said, I talked to he said the right things. A lot of times you learn more in losses than you will in 25, 30 wins.
Up in this
he said he realized that he could compete at the highest level,